Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us right here on The Right View. Tonight, we're so excited. We are so honored because we are joined by inventor and CEO of My Pillow, our friend Mike Lindell. Mike, welcome back. We've had you. I feel like you've been coming on with me for ages now. It feels like 150 years we've been doing this. But you are honestly, you are one of the true patriots. You are such a lover of this country and really a person who is willing to sacrifice pretty much everything for this country. For people who might not know your original story, you didn't start out as the CEO of a company. You basically hit rock bottom, right? You picked yourself up by your bootstraps. You had a couple of words with God and you said, you know what? I'm going to make myself a true, depiction of the American dream. And that's what you did. Tell people just a little bit about your story who might not know.
Well, I was a very functioning addict for decades, cocaine and alcohol. And then I turned to crack cocaine in the early 2000s. And which brought me down very fast. And I had, I lost a 20-year marriage, but I invented My Pillow in 2004. So I had these two parallel tracks, one over here where I could just separate from this addiction, and then this parallel track of addiction. And it got to be January 16th of 2009. And I actually had drug dealers do an intervention on me about 7 months earlier to cut me off. They had cut me off, and they said, you've been telling us for years that you're going to quit this addiction and you're going to come back and help us all out of this addiction lifestyle we live. And so God set me free of those addictions. And it's not when I was saved, though. That was February 18, 2017. So that's a whole other story. But I still, I believed in God and everything. And I prayed to God, please free me of these desires. And I knew I had a big calling, but I really thought, my calling was to get other people out of addiction and stuff. And that's how it kind of all started there. And then I did an infomercial in 2011. I told my friends and family, let's pool our money and do an infomercial. And it's funny, we went to film it, Laura, and I wanted a real audience, and I had fear of speaking in public or in front of people. I was so afraid. I had this fear of rejection, and that we're doing.
By the way, Mike, that's amazing knowing you now, like we all know you. But sorry, go ahead. Amazing.
But it was. We were doing our reads. This producer came in from California. Me and my friend, we had done home shows and fairs for years, and so we were doing our reads, and he texts the other guy. He said, "This guy is the worst I've ever seen. He'll never make it on TV." And we went down the next day, and the audience was there, and I'm going, and I was just petrified. And I read my lines, and it was just like horrible. And I said, "Can we get rid of the teleprompter and bring in a table and bring the pillow in, just like I did at the fairs, And it went off. It launched October 7th of 2011 in the middle of the night, and I had 10 employees. 40 days later, I had 500. We took in $100 million in 6 months, Laura, but I was $6 million in debt at the end of 2012. I was just devastated. I go, God, what did I do wrong and whatever? But I learned from 2012, pulled everything in-house, and over the next 2 years, rebuilt by doing it all myself and correcting the problems. And 80 million My Pillows later, that's what it's manifested to. I used that example in the 2020 election, being very similar to my thing with 2012. We've learned so much from 2020 now to fix these election platforms. It's going to be amazing. And so I've used that in speeches, but so I'm very encouraged when I see, because I've been there where it's been a complete devastation.
Yeah, I mean, you really, you've been at the bottom, Mike, and you've been at the top. And I'll tell you, I feel like when people rise up and they're at the top and they're, top of their game, and they're outspoken in a way that maybe the mainstream media doesn't like, that maybe folks on the left don't like, Hollywood doesn't like, you become a target. And they try to basically ruin you in every way possible. We know everybody gets canceled these days and those sort of things. At what point, though, do you think you became a target to the left? Because, I mean, there's no doubt at some point, they set their sights on you. Was it when you spoke at the White House during COVID? When do you think this all started? Because they're targeting you, Mike.
Right. There was 4 distinct dates. And the first one was, I was the media's darling. And around the country in 2000, before 2016, I'd say, Mike, how many more employees? I was the American dream on steroids, right? You built this company, and I went out. This is on August 15th of 2016. I got invited by our great real president, Donald Trump, to come out and see him at Trump Tower. And I went there, and it was surreal. I thought, this is incredible. He asked me, an entrepreneur, to come and see him. There was just him and I, no one in the room. And he asked me, you make all your pillows here, Mike, and stuff. How's that working out? It was just, and we talked about that. Then we talked about addiction, how I was an addict. And he said, I'm going to stop the drugs pouring in. We had this meeting. It was about a half-hour meeting. And there was no other agenda than this guy cared for this country. And I'm going, wow, I don't know presidents. I've never voted in my life, but he's going to be awesome if this is true. I left his office and I went and talked to employees. Every employee I talked to said the same thing. Great man, great boss. And he had done some for them personally. They all had a personal story. So I got back to Minnesota and I went to do a press release and tell the media, hey, I met this great man and he's going to be a great president. I don't, if he fulfills what he said to me, I'm pretty good at reading people. And I did the press release, didn't even say what we talked about. And I was attacked by the media. That was number one. Just attacked. They said, Mike Lindell, this crack user, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, you're the same reporter that came to me last week about my company. So I didn't back down. Then I knew I was all in. I went all in. I ended up with the third debate. I made statements there. And then the Better Business Bureau took my pillow from an A+ to an F. They attacked me. It was all political, but by the way, it's still an F, everybody. That's just fantastic, okay? And then the second time, Laura, you're right, it kind of went like this. And then I spoke from the White House and I mentioned God, and we said, God's given us grace. I said, we need to spend time with our families, get back in the world. You'd think I shot somebody. All the media around the world attacking. Then and then also in the summer of, I believe it was the summer of 2020, with the China virus, I had a supplement that worked, and I spoke out about that in the media. They really attacked then. Of course, the last time was when I got evidence on January 9th, and they all attacked me. Box stores left. It was this massive attack. And as the box stores kept me, did you hear about China? Did you hear about our election? Did you hear about these machines? And I've never shut up because I can't unsee what I've seen. And then just now recently, they've turned up the valve because I had my election summit in August, and we have the plan to secure our elections. Now they've come after my pillow and myself like you've never seen. It's like they've took it to a whole nother level.
Well, yeah, I want to ask you about that too. Look, I think you're going to be hard pressed to go around this country and talk to, and honestly, Mike, if people are being true to what they really feel deep down, they know that something wasn't quite right. Maybe they think it's on a different scale, but people are like, something happened in that election. And by the way, even if you only think that it was via our own Department of Justice who helped cover up the Hunter Biden laptop story, we know that enough people would have changed their vote away from Joe Biden and for Donald Trump, and Donald Trump would have legitimately won that election if that, Mike, was the only thing that changed. But people know something was off. Yep. You've really put yourself out there. And like you said, you're not backing down. You're not holding back. Why do you think it is so upsetting out there to the mainstream, to the people who want to have control of things, to have a guy like you out there who's like, no, I'm just going to keep talking and I really don't care what you do to me? Why is this such a problem for them?
I think it's because our election platforms, they don't want Donald Trump in there, period. But they also, even if it wasn't him, this is a uniparty problem. We've now, all the stuff that's been revealed the last 2.5 years, I've had so many Republicans blocking that it doesn't make sense. From crooked Brad Rassenberger in Georgia to Robin Voss in Wisconsin. We go into states going, hey, we need to go to paper ballots, hand count, and the Republicans block. It's disgusting. But I think you've got to take this back, Laura, January 7th and 8th of 2021. Those 2 days is when they tried to steal it. They thought that that's the day we started winning. 1.2 million Americans were deplatformed on YouTube, Vimeo, Suckerbucks, Facebook, Twitter. Our real president lost his Twitter. Parler was canceled. They took our voice and they wanted to take us out. And the people that didn't speak up, they were in fear because of January 6th. So when you silence a country's voice, they've got like Nazi Germany. Everyone was afraid, but our voice was like a little tiny dot. But that dot from that point on, I think it's a divine appointment that I got my evidence on January 9th. Because it's like, here you go. This is non-negotiable. I mean, I'm never going to back down. And I had a platform that God had given me, which is all of our voices, really. God gave me this platform. He has a sense of humor of a guy that couldn't talk before and now won't shut up. And then you had also, like when I went on Jimmy Kimmel that spring, everybody says, don't go on, Mike, don't go on. I had to get the word out because.
Can I tell you something? Not to interrupt you, Mike. Your Jimmy Kimmel performance there and just the entire skit that you did with him, I thought was amazing. I think it showed what a good sport you are. If people out there haven't watched it, you should go check it out. Because weren't you in like one of the claw machines or something?
That was the second time. That was just this year. There's 2 times. The first time I went on, I was the #1 story in the media from January 9th on. Showing up at the White House, and then every box stores cancel me every day. When I went on Jimmy Kimmel in the spring of 21, he had read my book, so I had an advantage. I go, this guy's got to be torn. He read my book. He knows where I come from then. I don't come from, this isn't a big conspiracy thing of Mike Lindell. I'm the same person. This has changed, and I want to sound the alarm. Jimmy asked me straight out, he goes, Mike, if the shoe was on the other foot and your friend Donald Trump was selected, would you still be sounding the alarm? And I said, yes, I would. And it's just like right now, they go, Mike's still trying to overturn the 2020 election. No, I'm sounding the alarm. We've got to get rid of these electronic voting machines and go to paper ballots and count and fix our election platforms. When I went on this year inside the claw machine, it's because I wanted you have Fox News, Newsmax, none of them will talk about our elections and give people hope. There's no hope out there. It's just hopeless if you sit and watch there. People are doing across our country great things, lawsuits, people on the ground to get our election platforms fixed. I needed to get the word out on Jimmy Kimmel. And one of the best lines, Laura, when I got there, Jimmy did his monologue. I always worry that I can say enough, I'm going to leave something out that the public needs to know. I don't care how much I get attacked. I need to get the word out. Jimmy did that, the monologue, so I had this piece going, wow, he already said everything. I can just have fun with it. One of the funniest things that it was all, I prayed though before I went out to go, God, please, Kendra and I prayed in the green room and they put me in this machine. One of the greatest lines I thought, because I've rewatched it, I have a hard time watching myself, but this kid, he comes up and Jimmy goes, Mike, you're inside a claw machine. I go, yeah, Jimmy, remember when we were kids and we had these carnival games and we told people they were rigged, but we didn't get sued?
Whoa, that was a good one. I do remember you saying that. So,
and do you know, I want to say this, after the show, Jimmy Kimmel brought me upstairs this time to meet his parents, and his mother goes, Mike, your people attack my son every day. And I go, well, you know what? Your son, Jimmy here, attacks me and others every day. And she goes, oh, you're such a card. I read your book. Now, Jimmy asked me straight out, he goes, Mike, do you really think you can fix these election platforms to get rid of these machines? I go, yes, we have to get rid of these computers. He actually talked with a sense of, not with the shtick. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Which was very interesting.
Too bad you didn't ask him about his nasty comments about my physical appearance. But that's for another show, Mike.
No, don't get me wrong, Lori. He's disgusting.
Either way. Listen, I think it's amazing to see how and look, your drive is obvious. Your drive to get yourself out of a bad situation when you were addicted to drugs and say, like, I've got to fix this. Your drive to make a company work that obviously was so successful. I mean, you're known around the world, Mike. People know who you are, and that is because of what you built and what you did. And I think it's amazing, and also because of your personality. And I've known you for a long time, and I have the utmost respect for you. And I think you are an incredible guy. But you know, they have done so much to you. Tell people out there who maybe don't understand where things are right now for you in these legal battles, where they have put you and your company and all of the people who you employ at your company. What is going on right now? What is the latest on that front? Because I think it's honestly so disgusting.
Yeah, well, they started this spring when this $5 million challenge. They announced Fox made their dirty deal with Dominion on a Monday or on a Tuesday. They announced this fake news about me on a Wednesday. Mike Lindell's evidence is no good, and then they fired Tucker on Friday. So that started that, and now I had banks or vendors and stuff going, do you have to pay out $5 million? I go, no, it doesn't even go to court till next year. Then in June, everybody, one of my managers said, Mike, we're going to make room for our MyPillow 2.0. Can I have an auction to get rid of some of this retail equipment because we don't have retailers anymore? I said, sure, go ahead. I imagine an auction, 52. This was a worldwide auction. It made the #1 story in the world, all the way to the Daily Mail. MyPillow's going out of business. They're selling their stuff. And what happened then, and that was planned, then American Express came in, took our credit line away for no reason, no warning. $1 million that we have, took it away. Vendors that I had 90-day credit, and now they said, we're not going to give you anything unless you pay us in 30 days. So they just attacked and squished my pillow. They figure if they can destroy me, my money, they destroy my voice. Here, there's 3 silos, everybody. There's a silo over here where I want to save our country and secure our election platforms. I've financed lawsuits, people on the ground. I put $50 to $60 million, every dime I had, into this bucket. Now you have my personal bucket here where I don't have any money left, but to put over here. But then you have MyPillow. Now MyPillow is an employee-owned company that was sued by the machine companies, saying that there was a marketing plan for them to make money, even though they've lost hundreds of millions of dollars. They haven't got none of my employees, like I say, it's employee owned. And I had to make a decision 2 months ago, Laura. Our lawyer bills at MyPillow were $2 million a month to fight these frivolous lawsuits. Wow. And I said, this is ridiculous. So I talked to the lawyers. I said, I got to go with other lawyers that are a lot less, which is about a tenth of that. So that made the news. Now, when that happened, we got debanked. Our merchant server said, you have to go. We're going to put a hold on because we don't believe you're going to mail people their pillows when we do every day in real time, all this stuff. So it's been very hard the last couple months, but we pray every day, we get through it. And I'm never giving up. And then when I went out to the media and said on my own show and stuff at Lindell TV, I'm out there saying, hey, we need help at the Lindell Offense Fund to keep fighting these battles to secure our election. And then the media twisted going, Mike Lindell, he's pleading for MyPillow and for money for his defense. None of that money goes for my defense. I would not ask anybody for that. I want help to secure our elections. We have to save our country or we have nothing left. And then what they did, Laura, when I went out and did that 2 weeks ago, if you can look at an article now, it came out, Mike Lindell is a billionaire. He drives around in Rolls Royces. He has yachts. He has this. And I go, I drive a pickup truck and have a house. The same thing I had going in. So
it's amazing. Well, honestly, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that you've had to deal with all of this. And believe me, Mike, nobody knows better than folks in my family
I know that, yeah.
what it's like to be targeted. But I think what has happened to you is shameful. It's so sad to see that this sort of thing happens in America. It feels like it should be happening in a communist country. Right. Much like what they're trying to do to my father-in-law. They're trying to put you out of business. They're trying to take away your livelihood and Absolutely. Your ability to stand up and fight. Why do you keep fighting? Because I think, it's so easy to just say, enough. I can't take any more of this. They've beaten me down so much. Why do you keep fighting?
Well, it's just like your father-in-law. When him and I talk, it's like we love our country. I love my country, and it's our future. It's the American dream was gone. I've lived the American dream. It would be gone. I don't have a company anyway if we don't, this is it. God gave us grace for such a time as this. Everything's in place, everybody, if we all do our part. Courage is contagious, and this is the time we all got to step up, because we get one shot at this. Our great real president asked me, I was with him, and I said, a couple things, everybody, I want to do this bucket. I said, sir, here's a bucket of common sense. Call it the mega, call it you. I said, people, the stuff that's going on, every time they indict you, everything they do, people are jumping in from both sides. Democrats, Republicans, independent, jumping into this bucket of common sense. And you give them no reason to leave that bucket. This bucket is overflowing. We have another thing going on too, everybody, and that, I always say this to when I talk with him, I say, you know what, this is God's timing. We're going to get to this great place. And he always says to me, he goes, but they're doing so much damage. I don't know if it can, how much can we fix? I said, with you in charge, we can fix it and you'll get the job done. And, to get our nation better than it was before. But there's a bigger thing going on, everybody. We're in the greatest revival for Jesus Christ in history. This has all been, if you Google patience, you don't see a picture of me, trust me on that one. But I've had to learn patience and, again, trust in the Lord and get way out. When we get way out here, we're going to look back and everything had to happen the way it did. Laura, I go all around this country. I go all around this country, and even Democrats, liberals, Republicans, they come up to me and they don't say, they all want my picture or stuff, and I never have a negative, but the common thing they all say is, can we save our country, the American dream? Keep going, don't give up, because and these are both sides. People are learning as they destroy our country. More and more people it's opening up people's eyes that we're brainwashed, and we took God out of our schools, and all this garbage that's out there, that's a small percentage of people. It's not, this is uniting the people. Your father-in-law is a great uniter of people. The stuff that he's done that we have proof of concept on, and it's uniting the people because they're seeing how bad it can get with evil in charge.
That's right. And by the way, Mike, I've said this for a long time. Look, maybe aside from someone like you and a handful of people, there was no one who worked as hard to make sure that my father-in-law stayed in the White House and won the 2020 election than those of us in our family. I mean, man, we put everything we had into it. We did it in 2016. We did it in 2020. And it was so hard. It was one of the toughest times, I think, for all of us whenever things did not turn out the way that we anticipated that they would and the way that we all believed that they had. And I think after getting a little distance from that, what I realized and what I think a lot of people are starting to realize is, you know what? You said it. It's God's timing. Sometimes things don't happen in the time that we want. Right. Sometimes there's a bigger plan at hand. And I believe that all of this had to happen to do exactly what you said, Mike, to wake people up, to open people's eyes to exactly what you get when you vote for someone based on the personality that the media tells you they have, based on just basically false information and a guy who campaigned out of a basement. Here's what you get. You get the destruction of our country. You get the doorstep of World War III, which is where we find ourselves right now. And I think people are starting to get it in exactly the way you said. And thank you for all you've done. Thank you for continuing your fight. I think it is so inspirational. I think it's so needed. But I assume if people want to help you somehow, help fight, alongside you, help fund these battles to ensure that our elections are free and fair, is there some way people can help? What can they do?
Well, they can do a couple of things. The one is it really needs help over here to everything we've done, which is I do a call every week with 300,000 people on the ground all across this country in all 50 states, and I've ran out of money to fund it. You can go there, the LindellPlan.com or LindellOffenseFund.org, and help there. That is so important because we can't get this far and stop in the sand. This needs to be funded. That's the LindellPlan.com. It's a beautiful plan. It's going to work, and it's awesome. And as far as my pillow, to help there, to buy products, you've got the promo code Trump.
Yeah. Use promo code Trump. By the way, Mike, I say this all the time. Not only do we, Eric and I have My Pillows in our bed. My daughter honestly went and picked out a My Pillow out of the closet. She hadn't, I don't even know what she was sleeping on. And one day she was like, this is like 2 years ago. She goes, I don't like this pillow. Went to the closet. She said, this is the one I want. It's a My Pillow. I'm not joking. And my dogs all use My Pillow dog beds because it's great stuff. It's great quality. They're so comfortable. So we use them at our house and they're great. And yeah, promo code Trump. Go order some. Help Mike out and get yourself some great products.
And you guys, if you go to the mypillow.com website and go down to radio podcasts, you can use that promo code Trump. We're putting stuff on there, Laura, like our Giza Dream sheets that we're putting. It's $30 more than even the sale prices on TV. $59.98 for the Queen, $69.98 for the King. What we're doing with My Pillow, since all the boxers have canceled, there's no middleman anymore, right? And and by the way, even my call center reps that work from home, these moms that work from home for a long time now, the IRS is trying to attack them and say they can't work from home on commission anymore. Everyone else can work from home, but so they're under attack.
Everyone can stay home and get paid to just sit around, right. Mike. Please, that's crazy.
But that number, everybody, is 800-624-3945, and my employees would appreciate calls. This is how they make their living. It's 800-624-3945. And then use promo code Trump. That's how you could really help My Pillow. And as far as myself, you help those two places, and I'm just fine. I'm happy with a pickup truck and a house, and just keep fighting.
You're amazing. You're amazing, Mike Lindell. I just want to tell you, not only do you take everything on and you take it in stride, but your attitude is always so positive, and you're really such a nice guy. I mean, I have to tell people out there who are listening to this or watching this, the Mike Lindell you see right now is the same one that you see in person, off camera. You're the same guy. You're so genuine. You're so kind. And you've done so much for other people and for this country. And honestly, I just want to wish you the best of luck with everything. It's amazing. And Mike, you've got all these dates. By the way, you're amazing with dates. It's like a Rain Man situation. Do you remember the date you met me? Because I feel like you got all these dates popping off in your head. It's amazing.
Yeah, I remember when I met Eric. I'm not sure I knew it. I know we did I just remember early on you were one of my first shows I did. And
nice.
I remember having a laptop set up in a hotel, and I didn't have props or anything. I had books, and it fell down right as I'm going. I'm so nervous, and I'm plugging it up.
Oh my gosh! Wait, where did you meet Eric? What was the meeting with him?
It was a Trump hotel, and Eric
in DC.
And Don, I'm sorry, it was at Trump Tower. I had lunch with him there, But I had met him. And that's when we started talking and stuff. But I had met him the first day, on August 15, 2006, just in passing. But
there
then
we got another date.
At the third debate in 2016. I believe it was in Las Vegas. That's where I met him, and we had a conversation. I remember sitting with Don Jr. At the table there, and it was surreal for me. I can't even believe I'm here. I mean, it's just like, I'll tell you a surreal moment is, I never thought with my past I could even step within 1 foot of the White House. And I remember getting invited there in 2017 for a manufacturer summit. And I walked in and I'm going, wow, this is surreal. I walk in there and there's this big table and everyone's around it, these manufacturers. And I said, who's sitting here? He said, the president is. And I'm going, really? Well, I went live on national TV, and it was him and I like this, and all my friends from back in the day that were, crack addicts, whatever, they're going, what is this ex-crack addict doing on TV next to the president?
Oh,
Jesus is real, because this would be impossible. And I think a lot of them back then fell in the Lord going, this is a miracle. And for me, that's how I know this is all set up, because those divine appointments way back then, even, meeting, Eric and Don Jr. and President Trump, and meeting all these, and yourself, you guys, for such a time as this, you guys gave everyone so much courage. I'm going, wow, how courageous can they be with the attacks and everything else? And courage is contagious. And, I get from, you got to have, sure, I get everything from God. I pray about what I do. What I want to say about this to everybody, because I get it all the time where people say, Mike, I prayed for this and Donald Trump didn't get in, or I prayed for this. And I say, those are reactionary prayers. I used to be in jail and pray, I'll never do this again. And and it might not be God's will. They're reactionary prayers, which might not be God's will at that time. So I said, well, where's God's will? God's will is in the Word. So if you read your Bibles and spend time with God, now you can be proactive in prayer, and they line up beautifully. That's why I can sit here and know that God has his hand in this, and it is his timing. So when I meet, that was just, I was just with our real president the last couple of days, and it's just so encouraging because he's always confident too,
He is.
It's just the confidence in spite of the attacks, and yourself, Laura, and everybody, your whole family. It's just amazing to have that leading the charge. And just know, this isn't a divided country. This is uniting us all. We all want joyful, good lives. And we have one president that knew what it would do to do problem solution, and he knew what it would manifest to help all people, not just a party or not just this little section of people. And that's a gift, and it's one of the most amazing gifts I've ever seen in a person, and we need him back.
Amen to that. Mike Lindell, you're incredible. Keep up the fight, my friend. I mean, we're here fighting alongside you. This is the most important election coming up, but we need to make sure that our good friends like yourself are not facing all the nonsense, because it's not right. It's not the way it should be. So everybody, please help out Mike. Let's order some My Pillows. Order yourself some slippers, some Giza Dream Sheets. Mike's got it all there for you at My Pillow. So Mike, good luck with everything. Thank you for spending a little time with us here at The Right View. We're going to check back up on you and keep up the fight, my friend. Good luck with everything. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for having me on, Laura. God bless. Thanks.
You got it. And to everybody at home, as always, thank you for joining us. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and follow. We'll see you back here next time for more of The Right View. Nothing is worse than being on a phone call that drops. Nothing is worse than trying to text someone and you can't reach them because your phone is out of service range. And nothing is worse than supporting these major corporations and companies who don't support us. That is why I love Patriot Mobile. They are America's only Christian conservative wireless network. They use every cell tower out there available to all networks so that they have the greatest 4G and 5G coverage nationwide, and they support the causes that are important to us as conservatives. If you go today to patriotmobile.com/Lara Trump and use the promo code Trump, you will get free activation today. Again, that is patriotmobile.com/Lara Trump. The promo code is Trump for free activation so that you can get a great cell plan and feel good about doing it. So I'm like a lot of people. I love to wear an Apple Watch, but I hate how it looks. And I scoured the internet to search for the best looking Apple Watch cases I could find, and I found it. goldandcherry.com. They have absolutely beautiful watches, as you can see here. Everything is waterproof. Everything looks good with different outfits. You can get sporty, you can get fancy, but they are great quality, made out of Delaware in the United States of America. And they have been kind enough to give me a promo code that I can share with you if you want to get your hands on one of these as well. It's Lara T, L-A-R-A-T is the promo code to get yourself a discount at goldandcherry.com. And not only do they make Apple Watch cases, they also make great products for iPads and iPhones, keyboards, your desktop, everything you could possibly need. goldandcherry.com. Use promo code LARAT so you can get yourself one of these today too. At The Right View, we're very proud of the fact that we are independent. We get to say everything that we think and everything that we feel. We have no woke companies guiding us or telling us what we can and cannot say. We are always going to shoot you straight and give you the facts as we know them. And that's why it's important to support independent outlets like The Right View. My name is Lara Trump, and I think Mike Lindell is a patriot. He is someone who loves this country, is willing to fight for this country. I love MyPillow because not only are MyPillows made in the USA by American workers, but they're great products, and they're so great that not only do I use them in my own bed at night, my children actually requested. My daughter the other day went to the closet and pulled out a MyPillow and said, "This is the pillow that I want to sleep with." And I gotta tell you, she loves it and will have nothing to do with any other pillow. So it's a big hit around our house. My dogs also happen to sleep on MyPillow dog beds. So all around the Trump household, we're big fans. If you go to mypillow.com today and use promo code Trump, again, promo code Trump, you will not only save money, but you will help us continue this show and other shows like it and help us continue the fight for the future of America. Inflation has impacted all of our lives. I don't think anyone can go to the gas pump or the grocery store without noticing that it is a major factor. And unfortunately, it's not going anywhere. It doesn't seem like it's going down in the way that we would like it to. And one way to protect your money is by investing in precious metals, gold and silver. That's always been a great way to make sure that you keep your money and you keep it safe. When you go to bh-pm.com, use promo code Trump. That way, if you decide you want to invest in gold and silver, you'll save yourself a little bit of money. We live in a time that's very interesting. A lot of us out there feel like a lot of our rights are slipping away. And if you're like I am and you want to have the right to choose whether or not to have a vaccine, how to live your life freely, and you're looking for a great doctor, I've heard amazing things about Dr. Sherwood. He's somebody who you should really check out and check into, and it'll help support this program and keep us going. So go to sherwood.tv and use promo code Trump. Again, sherwood.tv and use promo code Trump. You can save yourself some money and help us keep our program going.